What's the best way to bring up a new young fighter? What do you think is the best way to guide them?
Well, listen, each and every fighter, you know, like we've got different fingerprints. God blessed us. Unique, so we're unique. But, you know, each and every fighter, you know, you got to, I myself like to, you know, I see how they operate. I see how they build, you know, style-wise and strength-wise. If they're tall and slim, you know, they've got to be a bit, ain't got to be, but they move a bit. They're short and stocky, bit thick set. You know, you got to train. I like to smooth them out, polish them up, and bring, you know, add to them, you know, and take away their any bad habits they have, you know. And it's something, you know, some are quick at teaching than others. You know what I mean? Some are quick learners, and if they listen to the right instruction, they know. They know. Yeah, they know. Yeah.
What's more important than it? Like, just going off the back of that, like polishing something, like having natural raw talent, or can you be sort of a mediocre fighter that is trained to be a brilliant fighter? Like, what's your sort of favourite people to work with like that? Or do you think that you need to have a natural talent at first?
Well, listen, I mean, like Frank Bruno, for instance, we're talking about my dad, yeah? Like, big, strong man, very disciplined, good worker. He wasn't the most naturalist of blessed boxers, you get me?
Yeah.
And went and won world titles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, you can get a lot of naturally gifted boxers.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
don't get there because, you know, they're lacking other elements, you know, other elements. So yeah, you can listen. If you work hard, not everyone's going to be a world champion, but you can make them the best they can be.
Yeah.
And champions are different. There's something different about them. You know, some have an air of class or finesse, but, you know, strength, heart, you know, there's a lot of ingredients there. It takes to get to the top.
Yeah.
And to stay at the top is another. We're talking something else as well.
Yeah, I can believe. What's the hardest part of being a coach for you?
Well, the hardest part about being a coach is probably man management. You know, you gotta manage their personalities. You know, you get to know them. You get to know, you know, if you love your job, you get to know. You think you get to know how to, you know, maneuver and manipulate and navigate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Sometimes you got. And sometimes you got to give them a bit, take a bit, and sometimes you got to bring them down a bit.
Yeah.
But you know,
you become like a father figure, I suppose.
I quite like the psychology of bringing fighters along and bringing them up, and like that. I find it interesting. It's forever changing and challenging. Yeah.
It must be hard because like some of them, they get mega bucks now.
Yes.
And the egos must go through the roof, and it must feel like, oh,
yeah,
I'm not listening to coach. Look, I've got this in the bank. How do you feel dealing with those athletes that get to that level?
Well, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be in that situation, and I won't mention no names, but it's the entourages. Yeah, I won't call them hangers on. I just did, but it's like most of them don't mean anything.
Yeah.
But they're in the way, man.
Yeah.
Because generally, like for myself, I can speak for myself, I'm very tunnel vision. I have to tick boxes in my head. I don't carry paperwork, but I've got them on it with everything. Yeah. And I've got better to deal with it as I've got older. You know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes it's, you know, it's like swimming upstream.
Really?
But the fighter, if the fighter's in the right place and he wants to get to his destination and we believe in each other, we can get around in things, you know what I mean? I've been in corners in fights, big fights. Headaches around me. I nearly had to get security to get them out because we're going to lose this fight if you get in this way, because there's a process. I'm nearly there. We're nearly there because we've been doing this in the gym for 10 weeks. Let's get here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pardon my language.
No. You're all right. Don't worry about it. You will not believe some of the language that comes. I have to bleep and edit and bleep and edit.
But I like to think over the years I've got a good solid extended family of trainers, coaches who I can bring in as and when, and that is it, and that just comes with experience, and time you've put into the business, as in boxing. Yeah.
So with the heavyweights and the lightweights that you've trained, do you have to train them completely different to each other?
Well, I believe pound for pound, we're all the same.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
We're all the same. Pound for pound, we're all the same. The heavies, we don't hit the road too much. We do other stuff to get gears and to get them combination gears. But I think pound for pound, there's all some are good left hookers, good right handers. They're all the same, but you just I think pound for pound, you work with you're same with a heavyweight as you do a lightweight.
Yeah.
But like it's the styles. It's the styles that you gotta make better and polish up, and or take away their bad elements about them, if it makes sense.
For you, who was the hardest worker in the gym that you've worked with, even to this day?
Yeah, Dillian White.
Really?
Yeah, very hard worker, extremely hard worker. Billy Joe Saunders, incredible worker.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible. Johnny Fisher, got to hold him back. Got to hold him back.
Wow.
Won't listen.
Yeah.
Right? No, I shouldn't say won't listen. He's a very good listener, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a young middleweight now, Joel Bartel. None of the big promoters have picked him up yet, but he's gonna be a champion. He's got everything.
Really?
Got everything. Joel Bartel, the beast they call him. He's a lovely kid, lovely human being, and a good fighter. Very good fighter. Needs a couple more years domestically, and you're going to hear about him. What was that question you said?
Who was the best one, the hardest worker within the gym that personally?
That sticks out. Listen, I got to say it. Colin Lyons. I don't know if you heard of Colin Lyons.
Yeah, mate. Colin Lyons lived next door to one of my best mates.
Colin Lyons. See,
incredible fighter.
Championship mentality. They all work hard, and to be fair, I don't really get involved with people that ain't gonna, give you what I'm giving you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't really talk anyone I've been involved with that if I'm not involved with them now, or if they didn't last with me, it's because, probably might be because of that.
Yeah.
Is there any in the gym that don't really hit the levels that you want, but on fight night they can raise their game?
Yeah, well listen, I've got a super little fighter now. You're all going to hear about him. His name's Giorgio Vizioli.
Oh,
Yeah, I've asked him to come on. He has not replied yet.
He will. He's a southpaw. He's a super fighter. He's got it all. He's got it all, but experience. He hasn't got professional experience. And listen, he went to me. He got in touch with me. I was in Spain a little while ago, about a year ago, and on holiday. His manager rang me up and said, would I have a look at him? So I said, yeah, get him down to the gym. Had a look at him, and I think I had 2 or 3 days with him, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I took him to Tony Sims's gym, the Matchroom gym, because he was with Matchroom, and Tony had sparring over there. Took him over there, and beautiful. Mover, tell him an instruction, give him an idea, give him an instruction, does it, nails it. Didn't know him, his first spar. He backed into the corner. He got backed in his southpaw, got backed into the corner. he was slipping, sliding. And he went to come out and get back in that corner, stay in there. He started, well, let them go over your head, bending, slipping. Now counter, bang, crunch. Beautiful, absolute beautiful. So I knew then he was the way he responded to instructions, 20 seconds. Round after round, beautiful. And he's now 5-6-0, 6-0 now. He's 6-0. He's probably stopped 5 of them inside the distance against decent opposition for where he is in his career. Very decent opposition. And I mean, he's got to get a little bit more experience yet, but he's going to be a good fighter.
Is he lightweight?
He's well, listen, he says he's a super feather, but I says, listen, until you fight for a title, let's see where we're at. When you get see where we're at, because I've had fighters in the past that come in and they say, I'm this weight, because I go, let's try and forget about your weight for a bit, because their amateur coaches put them under too much pressure. They flog them to hold their weight down, but they forget that they're growing young men. Growing young men, and you can't grow if you're not getting the right nutrients and not allowing your body to grow, and not allowing nature to take its course. You know what I mean? Unless they're fat as a pig, so you've got to get them off.
It surprises me that, though, because, I mean, I would feel, I'm not a boxer, but I would feel that I would want to fill out. Do you know what I mean? I would want to get bigger and hit bigger levels, if that makes sense. We had Sonny Hardy in here, so Kevin Mitchell's young protege. He's 7-0, could be 8-0 when this comes out. But I mean, someone like that, I mean, how would that feel? Someone you've personally worked with who's now a coach, and then you're almost going head to head with one another. Like, let's say, for instance, Sonny versus Visioli. Like, if he does go up to lightweight, I mean, that must be a bit of a mind-blowing situation, because Kev would have got all of his stuff off of you and your dad. I mean, how would you handle something like that?
Well, like coaches like Kevin and myself, you grow in the business and sometimes you face each other. But Kev will understand that Sonny Hardy and Visioli are totally different, got different attributes and offensive skills and defensive skills. So it's why it's called boxing. So box out, fox, ping and sting, I say, and crack at times, but only if you got a bit of power. But Visioli, going back to him, I'm sorry I might be jumping here.
No, go for it.
He chatted with me, and when he first turned over, or first come up the gym, he come up the gym, he was having a trial with me. He says, I took him on the pads once or twice, and then he said, I'm a boxer, I don't punch very hard, bum, bum, bum. And I already took him on the pads, and I went, you can punch, but you're a boxer. Never lose these boxing skills you've got. As you'll progress in your career, you'll punch harder. But he's banging them all over. But he can't get excited. He's a skillful counter puncher, and he's getting even cuter, and he's going to get more seasoned. But what's I trying to say there now?
I do it all the time. I go off as well. I on this podcast, I go off on a tangent.
Punch power. But listen, I gave him an honest answer, but I didn't want him to think he's a one-punch knockout artist. But so you give him a little bit of belief, and not a little bit, and punch the body. Don't you like body shots? He punched ripping body shots in, but as an amateur, you don't throw a lot of body shots. My dad taught me to punch the body. Got to give him that. When I watch my amateur fights I mentioned earlier, when I was a little kid, I punched body shots like a professional back then. I thank my dad for that. That's the one thing I thank my dad for.
Yeah, there you go. Went back there.